Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shah, Ba'asham, Rekah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, salute to you brothers teaching the word in sincerity and in truth. And I'm going to talk about the coming collapse. And I'm going to kind of focus on these fuel prices that are rising up in a lot of different, all over the place. I'm going to play this clip, the UK. Now, what I do want to say is I would say there's, multiple collapses and multiple things that are happening, which is all part of, the order of chaos, you know. So this is not going to really be focusing on, I'm not going to focus on, Russia and that, but, because there's actually, and he's going to go into it. These fuel prices were going up before this Russia thing. When you check it out. Okay, so let me play some of this and let's see what we get out of this.
Well, sanctions on Russia are being felt there, but indirectly they're being felt here too, because you may have noticed that fuel's going up and energy prices look set to do the same. And that's all to do with Russia's position as one of the world's biggest suppliers of oil. Vincent McAviney joins us now. Vincent, what's been going on here?
Well, the first thing viewers need to understand about the price of oil is that it affects the price of everything. We use oil not just for fuel, for transporting goods and people, but in the manufacturing of many, many products. So the higher the oil price, the higher the cost of everything that we're buying. Now, the price is all about supply and demand.
So just off the back of that, man, I'm gonna play it, but you're gonna just start seeing prices going up, and we've been prophesying of this. Food prices, gas prices, your electric, everything. And if you notice, and if anybody's we'll document it, and different people have been putting up there's different things and different I was watching what was his name, Darbu7, and he was talking about how people on the comment board with from all over the states were putting up their different oil prices and the rising of them, which I'm kind of probably I want to get into a bit over here. And we got a lot to look forward to regarding these prophecies, fuel, food shortage. Let's carry on.
So since we've been coming out of the pandemic last summer, manufacturing countries have been raising their output, but the prices continue to go up to really high levels. Now, many nations, including the UK and the US, have been putting pressure on the likes of Russia and Saudi Arabia.
So you mentioned the pandemic. Now, the pandemic, if you was following it, we did videos on it. You had fuel prices going up the hell up, man. Then actually there was straight out gas stations with no gas in them whatsoever for various reasons. So we're seeing the prophecies playing out. It ain't just gonna be one thing. We're seeing the cards. We're seeing it's like a deck of cards, man. Once one card, you line them up and you tip it. Things are just so this kingdom's in a sinking ship. It's going downhill. Everything's going downhill. Nothing's going uphill. Everything's going downhill. So all you optimistic people, you got the wrong idea, man.
Arabia to ramp up production, but there's accusations that they've been artificially inflating that price to make more money from all of us. So on the 23rd of February, the day before the invasion, the price was right up there at $96.84 just for one barrel. Now, that was deemed too high already, and it was bringing about the cost of living crisis. So since the invasion, because of worries over supply disruption, it's gone up even higher. Earlier today, $139.13 a barrel. That's the highest level since 2008, and they don't think it's going to stop. So JP Morgan, one of the world's biggest banks, has said it could hit $185 a barrel later this year, which would bring about a global recession. Now, the markets have been reacting today, but for people out there watching this, they will see in the next few days the hit at the petrol pumps, because both diesel and petrol are going to be going up.
stopped buying Russian oil and gas, which is what America.
Now, there's a video the Apostle put up regarding he mentioned it actually about this Russia-Ukraine situation, which there's countries that used to be part of the Soviet Union, and they've been having their skirmishes, man. They've been having skirmishes and shit like that. Everyone's focusing their attention on this, and blaming everything on this. But I just find it funny how during these lockdowns, that had an effect on the economy, and that had an effect on your oil and your food. But all of a sudden everybody's forgot that. They just don't talk about it anymore. Okay. But that's how it goes. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get a scripture out here. 2nd Ezra 16 and 17, it says, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? All right. And that's why we need the Lord Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Okay. Which if you messed up on the pronunciation, I've done a video and I can do another video on the pronunciation of the name of the Lord, man. It's faith, but it's pretty simple. It's not even that hard. It's not that hard. Because I was watching one of those videos the other day with some Ukrainians. And if you read their name, it sounded straight. His name was like something like Zakar or something, His name was like pretty much like a Lashuan Kodash name. So when you go over there to the east, a lot of those people, their names, the Lashuan Kodash, straight out. I've seen it. You got females over there called Marsha. I did a video, but I remember I did one before that's been deleted after. Well, there's a female news reporter named Marsha, Masha, man. So, the Hebrews can clearly, we got the right Hebrew in the purest form. Remember, these other tongues are, bastardized, but they're still more pure than a lot of the tongues you're speaking over here. So you got to get it correct. It's the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? All right, so it says the beginning of famine and great death. Now, what's happening on a global stage here is that, the Lord is showing you what's getting ready to happen out here. Fuel prices going up, food shortages. You're getting shown on a global level what's getting ready to take place out here. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get more of this news. I'm gonna do more videos like this because it focuses on prophecy. It says, behold, famine and plague. Now you got inflation, you got hyperinflation, man. Where the prices of things are just shooting the fuck up. Now, if you noticed, this individual sat here and he said that he said that it ain't just gonna affect fuel, it affects everything. At least I'll bring it back so you can hear it again. Let me do that. I'm gonna bring it back so you can hear it again. Okay.
Just now, Vincent, what's been going on here?
Well, the first thing viewers need to understand about the price of oil is that it affects the price of everything. We use oil not just for fuel, for transporting goods and people, but in the manufacturing of many, many products. So the higher the oil price, the higher the cost of everything that we're buying.
Right, so you're going to go to the store and things are just going to be shooting up and up and up and up and up. We're in the end times, and it's only going to get worse. Now, what they're trying to do is they're gonna do stuff, and I'm gonna do another video on this. Is push that what we call the Karagma, at least so they're gonna do some stuff to push that. You got your false flags, they're pushing it, and also with a lot of this stuff, I was watching another video, and they were going into your green agenda, and because they did say they want everything to go gridded, basically electric. Did they say by 2025? I think they said they wanted electric cars by 2025, every car. I was just watching a program in over there in China, and their taxis are electric, man. They're in the grid. The buses, they weren't using no petrol over there. And I think some people are, but the taxi drivers or electric cabs. Okay. So it links in with the grid and the Revelation 13 with the plan that they've got to usher in this thing, because that's a big prophecy, and everything links up when you check these prophecies out. It links up because people might be confused because that's what Esau does. He's all about confusion. He's all about chaos. It's multiple chaos or diversion. So you can't think.
The price is all about supply and demand. So since we've been coming out of the pandemic last summer, manufacturing countries have been raising their output, but the price has continued to go up to really high levels. Now, many nations, including the UK and the US, have been putting pressure on the likes of Russia and Saudi Arabia to ramp up production, but there's accusations that they've been artificially inflating that price to make more money from all of us. So on the 23rd of February, the day before the invasion, the price was right up there at $96.84 just for one barrel. Now, that was deemed too high already, and it was bringing about the cost of living crisis. So since the invasion, because of worries over supply disruption, it's gone up even higher. Earlier today, $139.13 a barrel. That's the highest level since 2008, and they don't think it's going to stop. So JP Morgan, one of the world's biggest banks, has said it could hit $185 a barrel later this year, which would bring about a global recession. Now, the markets have been reacting today, but for people out there watching this, they will see in the next few days the hit at the petrol pumps, because both diesel and petrol are going to be going up.
So is there going to be global recessions? Well, they're telling you that. They're telling you that, amongst other things. They actually told you there's going to be other outbreaks. So everything we're telling you, man, is right in them prophecies, man. Right in them prophecies. Okay. Let's go.
Stopped buying Russian oil and gas, which is what America hopes, lights would go out in Europe. NATO members account for about half of Russia's oil and gas exports. It would be catastrophic. We are not even close to being ready to weaning ourselves off Russian oil and gas.
Right, so there's a dilemma here, isn't there? Because we're seeing these prices going up and we know it's going to hit us in the pocket, but also many countries still buying Russian oil and gas. So what do we do?
Well, the US is looking at blocking all imports of Russian oil and gas to stop the war fund for President Putin. But in the last decade, they've become incredibly energy independent, doing things like fracking, and it accounts for less than 10% of their supply. But here in Europe, it is much, much bigger. And as we heard there in that clip, it would have a huge effect. So the decision now for leaders in the West is it worth us all taking the hit to hit Putin's war chest?
Now, when you watch, let me get off this one. When you get when you you know, when you watch certain stuff, certain news, BBC, you know, and all that, you get like you get a one perspective. You know, you got this. You know, you get a certain perspective of what, you know, how the events they want you to look at things. You got Jake's going over there right now. You know, you had this Jake, and I don't know, you know, if they just set that up, but you had these Jakes, and he was sitting up there talking about he's going to go to fight in Ukraine, and you had these other people that they're going to fight for Ukraine against Russia. So, you know, these people have got you, and they got you minds, man. You know. But one thing we can guarantee right now, I'm gonna do some more video. I'm gonna do a video on this Ukraine Russia thing. I'm gonna watch that video. I started watching it. I didn't, you know, I haven't gone fully into it. I just started watching the start, but I'm gonna go and watch that, because when we deal with information, man, we deal with, you know, we deal with everything. You know, we know Russia's got allies as well. And the bottom line is America's going to be the one that's going to be the one destroyed in this war. They're the one who's going to take, they're going to be the one who's, and according to the prophecies, countries are going to be turning on them. So, you know, you got to see it. You got to just see, you got to see a lot of this. Let me read the rest of this. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famines and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So, you know, planet Earth, you know, they're showing you, man. This ain't the time. We're in the end. This ain't the time of, you know, your 10-year plan, your 20-year plan. All that's gone out the window. I remember, you know, the city London was, you know, major in tourism, had the busiest street in Europe, and I speak to brothers that been living there, and they tell me that it ain't even like that anymore, man. And a lot of people have gone back to their own countries. All them tourists that, if you used to go down there, the giant mountain park would have people from Italy, Spain, France, just walking down the street, hotels or jobs, or just trying to get a piece of that London pie. And right now, since all this is gone, people are back in their own countries, man. You know, the Lord's bringing this place down. And let's not even talk about America, which I'll do a separate one on that. Babylon the Great, in their involvement in this, because the end for Babylon the Great is the end of Babylon the Great is, you know what? You know what I'm saying? Them nukes, man. All right. So there you go. So, you know, Yahweh Shem Shai is getting ready to eradicate this place, man. But it's gonna get worse. You know, your circumstances in your towns and your cities is gonna change, and they're gonna be pushing. And I'm gonna do another video on that, about this Charagma thing, man, because they are definitely gonna push that, and they can use all of this. Like I said, they can link that in with the high fuel prices, with the green movement. They just had a meeting up in Scotland about this COP26, about this energy fuel and too much fuel being used, and they're gonna link it all in, man. So I'll do another video on that, and with that one, I'm gonna say shalom. Another thing.